Hey, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the AfterTaste Movie Podcast on Maybe It's a Network. This week, we're breaking down the box office results. A lot of Kevin Feige news. Spiderman back in the whole MCU universe, and he's off to a galaxy far, far away, making something pretty great from what I hear. And we're also going to talk about some casting news of the Batman, possibly the Riddler. Thank you once again for tuning into this podcast, and here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AfterTaste Movie Podcast. I'm your host here once again, Barno. How's it going? So today we got a couple people on. To my right here, I have Chelsea Rodriguez. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Had a good day.
I did.
Awesome. And then we got a new guy in. A new meat. I don't know what that even means. Oh, God. And I've been playing a lot of Borderlands. You guys play Borderlands?
No.
You guys play video games?
No.
Sometimes.
God,
Not a long time.
that's such... No, play some video games. Phil Bassini, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Excited to be here?
Sure am.
Wow. Do you know where you are right now?
I'm in a room.
Don't mention where I live. You're real smart. Thank you. Cool. So today we're going to talk about a few things. Let's start off with our box office numbers here. Abominable took number one this week as expected. It's a little bit under last year's release of Storks at $21 million. Either one of you guys see Storks?
No.
Classic film about a baby getting dropped off by Stork, and then they went on an adventure together. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Abominable did about as expected, which is pretty good. It's a DreamWorks release. If you're not Disney, normally you don't make $10 trillion. Even How to Train Your Dragon, which came out this year, didn't do bonkers numbers like it wanted to, which is also DreamWorks. So they're probably hurting a little bit. But Abominable did pretty good. Downton Abbey take number 2 at $15.5 million. And then Hustlers coming in at number 3 with $11.4 million, which is excellent. Just a 31.8% drop, which is amazing for the studio. If I look at it real fast, I think it's made a total of... There's going to be some downtime with this. About $95 million worldwide right now on a budget of $20 million, wow, which is absolutely excellent. It's from STX Entertainment, which has had some hits and misses over the years. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie The Circle. Anybody guys see the movie
I did.
The Circle?
Eventually.
Yeah.
You hear about it?
I'm aware of it.
You heard about it? Tom Hanks just doing some stuff not good for his career whatsoever.
Or John Boyega.
Fresh off of Star Wars, John Boyega, and even worse, straight off of Beauty and the Beast, finally getting her light back was Emma Watson was in the movie, and it was bad, guys. So SDX is probably gonna make quite a bit of money on this, and nothing else ever again, probably. So they get to stay in the industry for a little bit longer. Number 4 is It Chapter 2. We're going to have a review coming up on that probably this week. Check that out here. Had a really good drop, too, just 38%, which is amazing for a studio horror film. And it's, I think it's... How long has this movie been in theaters?
I think it's its third week or something. Or fourth
I have
week,
numbers, but it doesn't want to work. Fourth week, 10 million, 38% drops. Not bad. That's real good. Then topping off is Ad Astra, just another catastrophe for the studio. It's only made about 89 million worldwide, mostly foreign. Brad Pitt, who is freshly off of possibly Oscar contending show in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, unfortunately showing that he can't quite open a film like he used to by himself.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones was there. It was in space. It was kind of cool. But unfortunately, not a lot of people are flocking out to see that these days. So that's our box office this week. Next week, we have a couple releases that people might be excited about. The Joker. You guys excited for the Joker?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix,
the chameleon of a man, turns his body inside out for every role he does. He's excellent. I'm very excited for that. And also, Judy releases worldwide instead of limited. I think it was just on 580 screens this last week. And did really well. Renee Zellweger. God, I can't say her name ever. It's almost like me trying to say Abominable over and over again. I can't say it.
Yeah, no.
The Abominable movie. Fun fact, actually. This time last year, literally this week last year, a movie called Smallfoot came out, which is about abominable snowmen who hang out and stuff. So, I guess this is just the abominable type of week for the box office. So that is our box office review this week, and we'll talk about it a little bit more next week. But we're going to get started on a couple topics that came through this week news-wise that were just big stuff. And I'm sorry if you tune into the show to talk about classical films. This week, unfortunately, we aren't going to do a lot of that. A lot of superhero news, a lot of Star Wars news. Kevin Feige's all over the freaking place. So we're just going to talk a little about it. This first topic today is Spider-Man. He's back.
He's back.
It was crazy. So basically, after Disney and Marvel, they had a little bit of an issue, split up. Basically, Sony just wanted, Disney basically just wanted, money. I think the original deal for Spider-Man's release situation was, I think Disney was making about 5% of the actual ticketing itself. And the rest was just on toys promotion, stuff like that. But they also had complete control over making the film, such as Kevin Feige coming in and doing it. And they had all creative control for the most part. They were basically making a film for Sony, though, who got the entire box office ticketing. Disney comes in and says, we're doing a lot of this work. We want our share. I think the numbers were they wanted a 50-50 split, which some people thought might be fair. But then Sony could make a lot of money off this if they did it right, which we all know they probably can't, which is why people were upset. So basically they have got back onto the table and they have struck a deal for a new Spider-Man film directed by possibly John Watts is coming back for the third installment of it. And it looks like the release date is July 16th, 2021.
Yes.
And not only that, but they also have something in the contract that states that he will also appear in one future Marvel movie, which could be another, Avengers. It could be a Young Avengers. Could be something like that. Mm-hmm. So there's at least 2 more showing ups of the Spidey, which is real nice. Did this surprise you guys at all?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Felt like they would eventually hear everybody's demands and
the cries of the online people. I know I was real bummed. For one, I was, Tom Holland's probably my favorite installment of Spider-Man in general. Some people like, Tom Holland. Very few people like the other guy, Andrew Garfield. Some people like him, but I believe that Homecoming was an excellent film. Homecoming was an excellent film, and we might disagree on it, but it's more of the type of, for. What I see that you're cringing a little bit, Phil. You're not a big fan of Homecoming?
No.
Oh, really?
No. All right. Well, why not?
It didn't really do anything for me. I felt like it was nearly steakless.
Steakless.
Yeah.
Okay. I could see a little bit of that.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a few nitpicks I had here and there, but regardless of how I felt about the writing, I really like Tom Holland. Tom Holland is perfect casting for Spider-Man, and he embodies the 2 sides of Spider-Man, Peter and the Spider.
Yeah, for sure. And I just kind of felt like that's just the type of Spider-Man that I think always should have existed. Is this type of Spider-Man, the lightheartedness of it a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of thought of it as like a mixture of a superhero film and like a Breakfast Club almost, which is
totally.
Really kind of nice. It's refreshing coming off of that blue Jamie Foxx in Times Square, whatever Electro in Times Square doing some stuff.
They fixed the gap in his tooth when he transformed.
He basically in that movie he basically just played the role from The Violinist. Did you guys ever see The Violinist?
The one with Robert Downey Jr., right?
Yeah, he played a violinist on the street.
Yeah, I did see that.
He basically just played the same character but blue.
Yeah,
janitor. But yeah, so I was really excited about it, and I saw Far From Home. Did you like Far From Home more? Because it was definitely different than Homecoming.
I am waiting for the red box to see it.
You what?
What?
I actually, truth be told, when it comes to Marvel, I don't keep up quite as closely as everyone else.
Okay.
I typically will watch them as they come out at home, but I did watch Endgame when that was in theaters.
That's
and, some of the more major releases, though. I don't know.
We'll see. I would say that you probably are going to like it a little bit more. It's closer to a Marvel movie than the Homecoming feel, which I think the feel of Homecoming might be a little bit of what's struck you a little differently.
As long as I get some better, or I say that, I don't know. I feel like if they just do more for the characters and challenge him more and really kind of push him, then I'll be happy.
Yeah, with Far From Home, Chelsea, did you liked Far From Home, right?
I did.
Yeah. With Far From Home, I mean, Peter Parker was the focus of Homecoming, I'd say. A lot of him. And a lot of the characters were real cool. Ned was real cool. Ned was real cool. MJ was there, right? She wasn't a fleshed out character whatsoever.
Yeah.
Everybody was there, basically. And in Far From Home, they give everybody kind of an arc and a story. And they flesh out. MJ becomes actually a really good character in Far From Home, which is really good. Ned has a full, really funny arc. Basically, I don't want to ruin it for you, but has a really good, funny arc. And everybody in the whole movie, there's comedy between J.B. Smoove and the teacher guy, which is really funny as well.
Oh, yeah, Martin Starr.
Yeah.
He's funny.
So I think you'll enjoy it. But anyway, I was really excited to hear that they're coming back. I never thought for a freaking second they wouldn't, though. I mean, like, with all the money that they made, I think Homecoming probably got up to, I think it was about $800 million worldwide originally, which is, I think, one of the highest selling Spider-Mans. And then Far From Home came out and it made very, very similar numbers.
Yeah.
Sony wasn't ever going to get back to that number on their own. Ever. I think The Amazing Spider-Man 2 topped out at like 302. And with a budget that huge, with Jamie Foxx waving his arms in Times Square blue with all the electricity and exploding cards alone.
Yeah.
They would never get back to that, right?
No.
There's no freaking way. Just for fun, who's your favorite Spider-Man then, Phil?
Tom Holland, but my favorite Spider-Man films may be the Tobey ones.
Tobey? For a very, very long time, I'm very much the same way. I think, obviously I liked Homecoming a lot better than you did, but you know, for a long time, Spider-Man 2 was just one of my favorite superhero movies of all time.
Yeah, that's the best
What's
one.
his name? The Hispanic actor who played
Doc Ock?
No, yeah.
Was it the Dr.
Like something
Octopus?
Molina, right?
Oh, yeah, Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably one of the best villains in the history of comic books.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So it took a lot for me, but I think this one's just a lot lighter. It's really nice to see. Although Marvel films in general have been lighting up a little bit. Guardians is a very light type of... Ragnarok is a light type of film.
Oh, yeah.
Not towards the end. The whole world blows up. Spoiler if you haven't seen Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that one.
Good, yeah. Did you like Ragnarok?
I hated it.
God, you're...
My heart just broke.
What the hell? You're here for the review later. What the hell are you doing? Well, you know, but I enjoed it as much.
To its credit, it was full of personality. It was extremely charismatic.
Yeah.
But
that was it for you.
Yeah.
But do you like Taika Waititi in general?
Yeah, I really enjoyed What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. Have you seen the new TV show?
No, but I'm looking forward to watching it. I mean,
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, there was just some things about Ragnarok that didn't settle well with me, but I do, however, recognize that with Homecoming and Ragnarok, I am in the minority.
Oh yeah, you are. Oh yeah, you are.
Definitely.
Many people think that Ragnarok saved the character Thor in general.
Oh no, it totally did, and it is the best Thor movie.
Which I will agree means literally nothing. I think Ragnarok, though, in the court of public opinion, was good enough for him to get another contract. He got another contract. People were so happy with him that he's like, "Oh, well, you're going to be as the Asgardian of the galaxy now. You're going to show up there. Probably you're going to show up in Thor 4."
Love and
Thunder. You're probably not a fan of that, are you, Phil?
No, I'm fine with it. And
I meant just a name.
The name? Oh, it's
Love
fine.
and Thunder.
It's fine. And I will give this guy credit. Thor Ragnarok had some of the most jaw-droppingly beautiful shots I've ever seen in an MCU movie, and I think you know what I'm talking about. That bit with the Valkyries coming down and
yes, very much.
Oh my gosh,
it looked like a matte painting, like from the 80s or something.
I feel like with this film, however, they just they went up to Taika and they're like, "What do you want to name it?" He's like, "Love and Thunder." That's
sold.
We'll do it. Bring Natalie Portman back. Are you excited all for the Blade remakes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good enough.
I mean, I grew up with a Wesley Snipes one, and it's been a while since I've seen them. But he's a fun character. People love it. I'm down for more. I'm certainly open to it.
And do you think that they'll be able to pull off a PG-13 thing? Because more than likely,
I didn't know that.
More than likely, they're gonna keep it PG-13, right? Because these MCU films, they eventually they're gonna have to splinter somewhere. Because with the acquisition of Fox, they have Deadpool, which is just a money-making machine.
And then look at what Logan did.
Logan made I think $600 million, $700 million off a budget of nothing. So taking a superhero film with a low budget and making it awesome is possible. So you'd think they'd have to go that way. But if they didn't, do you think they could pull off anything close to what Blade needs to be to get through?
If it's rated R. Maybe.
If it's rated R, you don't think they could pull off a PG-13?
I mean,
the Blades were pretty. Those Blade films are pretty bloody, right?
Yeah, especially the opening scene, like in the first movie.
Yeah, I know,
literal raining blood. Oh
man, it's good to see Ryan Reynolds pop up in Blade again. That'd be pretty fun. Deadpool crossover with Mahershala Ali. That'd be pretty fun. The awful goatee in Blade 3, was it? Do you remember that movie?
Blade Trinity?
Blade Trinity,
yes.
Oh man, awful facial hair.
Jessica Biel was in it.
That was Jessica Biel, wasn't it?
Was. Yeah. I just love when people are in movies that we don't remember. I was watching Lord of the Rings a couple weeks ago, and Carl Urban was in there. I was like, that looks like a young Carl Urban. Wow, that is Carl Urban. He has like the same role as he does in Ragnarok, basically. This is a guy that rides around saying 2 lines. So that's cool. Let's get past this MCU garbage and continue with the next story, which is Kevin Feige doing something else. So basically, from looks like THR reported that Kevin Feige signed on to produce and direct a new, I don't know if it's direct, but definitely produce and showrun a new Star Wars film for Lucasfilms. Marvel Studios president and mega producer Kevin Feige is heading to Star Wars. Sony cited that Feige's busy schedule is probably why they cut off the... that was their excuse originally, was Kevin Feige is so busy that he can't do Spider-Man. So we're going to break off this deal. That was their stance, basically. But he's doing a Star Wars film also. So, I mean, I think they were just making excuses at this point. But he's coming in to direct a Star Wars film. He's also quoted as saying that he has reached out to a major actor from the MCU to star in said film. So that's pretty exciting. Phil, you're a Star Wars guy, right? You enjoy Star Wars. Do you think that having a showrunner like Kevin Feige could be good for the Star Wars galaxy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of the stuff that he's done right now is really well received, and I certainly trust him to, as much as I love some of the more divisive Star Wars installments, to create something that is a little bit more all-encompassing and can satisfy greater portions of the fan base.
Yeah. Do you think a little bit of the MCU concoction inside of the Star Wars universe could do well for the
I think so.
fandom?
Yeah, I think because what he's done with like the MCU, and he's been often like labeled as like the architect or like the blueprint, that like holds the glue together. I think just like whatever like really can like he can set his mind to, I think he's gonna do really, really well for like the Star Wars fandom and everything. Because what I really love about him is like he really loves like the source material, like all that stuff. Like he is like a true fan.
Oh yeah, mega nerd, like
Big
all the way
nerd.
through. Yeah,
And that's kind of like one of the reasons why I have kind of a little bit of gripes with Kathleen Kennedy and how she runs things. But it's just me personally with certain things.
I think there was a quote. I probably misquoted quote, but they think I think the Disney thinks that they went at it a little fast. Kathleen Kennedy I don't think it was her direct quote, but. You know, they came out with an episode film and then a spin-off film and then an episode film, and then within like 6 months there's another movie.
Yeah,
and
it was really quick.
It was a very, very saturated market. They thought that they could do something very esque to a Marvel cinematic universe because they're in the same company. Marvel works. We have a lot of the same people that work on Marvel films are also got one foot in with Lucasfilm. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Everybody works with everybody within the company, basically. So they thought they could do it, and they did it a little fast. And we see that in the divisiveness a little bit in the reactions to the last episodic film. We see that in the numbers for the new theme park, Galaxy's Edge. A little bit too much of a saturation of Star Wars. So I think this is a really smart decision, just due to the fact that they need to start appealing more to the entirety, right? Not just one side. That's the gripes that people had.
Yeah.
People thought the Force Awakens was too much of the same, and then people thought Last Jedi was, my God, what have you done with my Star Wars, basically. So I think having this middle ground of like trying to
like appease
entertain
all the
the
masses. Yeah.
right? And then having the kind of feel, I think the flow of a Marvel movie is a little bit different than a Star Wars film, but I think meshing it a little bit, it might make it a little bit more of a mainstream type of situation. So I think that's really smart. What actor from the MCU universe do you want to star in a Star Wars franchise or just a movie itself? Anybody got anything?
I wanted to say Paul Rudd for a second.
Oh, man,
Oh my
Paul
God.
Rudd. Oh, he'd be great.
He would.
I don't know if star, but he's definitely. I just want to. At this point, I just see a the Solo, but remade with Paul Rudd.
Oh my gosh!
Keep everyone else, but have
And then
Paul.
get rid of Ron Howard again and bring back in Phil Lord and Miller.
Yeah.
And, we'll get a good film out of that. Chelsea, do you have anybody off the top of your head?
Paul Rudd was such a good choice.
That's a good idea.
I know, like
that at all.
it's a really obvious one, but like because you had said like he was quoted saying like a major actor. I guess in terms of major would be like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Can you imagine he just like shows up and like,
hey, it's Iron Man.
I am Han Solo. Yeah. I could see him doing something like that. When I thought originally, I thought of somebody probably like Chris Evans. Which I could see. He's got the star power right now. He's also got the acting chops that he hasn't been able to show. I've definitely seen him in movies that he's excellent in.
Oh yes.
Have any of you guys seen Snowpiercer?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's been a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, I really like that movie.
Yeah.
He's been in a couple movies that he's been able to show what he can do. And Star Wars, you're gonna need your heroine basically to be special, and I think he could do that.
Yeah.
Besides that, Rocket Raccoon.
Oh my God.
Playing Chewbacca might be great, or something along the lines. But yeah, I think it's real good for the industry to have. Yeah, something else.
I remember hearing a rumor about Dave Bautista wanting to play Darth Bane.
I heard the same thing. Actually,
Yeah.
Dave Bautista is a real passionate nerd. I love Dave Bautista. He's also got this Gears of War 3 project that he's been trying to do for like 10 years
I've heard
now.
about that one too, yeah.
I've been following his Twitter, and he consistently will just like tweet about traction trying to get underneath that. And I believe the makers actually put him in the last Gears game,
cool.
which is probably like the coolest thing you can do as a mega nerd. So yeah, that he would play a good Darth Bane.
I think so.
He'd do pretty well. Big bulky guy. Darth Bane though has a very intense arc. But you've seen Dave Bautista. He's a very comedic actor. Sorry,
I totally interrupted you. He's so lovable in Guardians.
He's so lovable in Guardians. I do look back to him in the role, which was such a tiny role, but in Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
Did you watch Blade Runner 2049?
Oh, I totally forgot to watch it.
Oh,
yeah,
I
do. Yeah, first Ragnarok.
Some people like it. Some people like it. Some people hate it. I'm in the probably middle ground that I thought it was brilliantly made.
Yeah.
It was a little slow, but I think it was a masterpiece of cinematic creation. So when it comes to cinematography, Roger Deakins won an Oscar for it in a sci-fi film, which it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve is an amazing sci-fi director. Have you ever seen Arrival?
Yes.
Arrival was, I thought, very, very good.
Yes.
Denis Villeneuve, he also made...
he did Prisoners. He did Sicario.
Sicario was another one he did.
I love his
So
work.
he's very, very good at screenwriting and storytelling.
Oh, he's doing Doom. That's another sci-fi.
And he is doing Doom. Isn't Dave Bautista in Doom?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's in Doom.
Everybody's in that movie.
Yeah, everybody's in Doom. We'll talk about that forever over the next 3 years when it gets delayed 70 times because it's such an intense story to get right.
Yeah.
So they'll be working on that. But Dave Bautista, he'd be great. Darth Bane. We'll see. We'll see what happens with all that storyline. You Rule of Two and all this fun stuff. It's really dark when you go back that far. With D.B. Weiss and Benioff from the Game of Thrones guy coming in. A lot of people have issues with the last season of Game of Thrones, but I think that they could probably do a rated R or close to R Knights of the Old Republic storyline.
Oh, yes.
Which would be great to see as a huge freaking fan of Star Wars. Everybody's been waiting for that. I remember playing Old Republic when I was a kid on my video games, and we've all been waiting. So it'd be really cool to see that happen. Stop happening. Okay. So we're going to move on from Kevin Feige. He's had enough attention today. To some Batman news. Looks like Jonah Hill has been in conversations to join Matt Reeves' Batman, coming out 2020. Looks like he's in negotiations to play the Riddler. It was previously noted that he was in communications for the Penguin as well. We don't actually know what the heck's going on. I think people just consider Jonah Hill fat sometimes, so they thought Penguin was going to be the guy.
Yeah. He's going to play the Penguin.
Oh, he's going to play the Penguin. So it's probably not going to be the Penguin. A lot of traction on the Riddler rumor, so we think that that's probably going to be the route that they do go. Although the issue is Jonah Hill is asking for probably about $10 million salary, and the Batman is being played by Robert Pattinson. I refuse to say from Twilight because I think that's very disrespectful to him.
It is.
But he's only getting paid $5 million for his role. So Jonah Hill getting $10 million for Riddler when there's also supposed to be different villains in the movie. Catwoman's supposed to be in the movie. Penguin was supposed to be in the movie as well. $10 million for Jonah Hill to come in and play the Riddler. So we'll see. But what do you think of Jonah Hill playing the villain like that? Anybody?
I'm really open to it because sometimes when you get unexpected actors playing villainous roles, it can turn out really cool. And the first example that comes to mind is when I saw Django Unchained.
Yeah, right.
And we got Leo going a little crazy.
He went crazy and smeared some of his blood on some poor actor's face. Oh, for those that don't know, he cut himself, and it's just off the cuff decided to rub his own blood on somebody else's face without their permission. That's against the law. But he's an excellent actor, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping he can go dark, and it'll be like a little pleasant surprise for everyone.
Okay, Chelsea, do you think it'll be all right?
I think so. It's been so long since I've watched the movie, but I thought he was really good in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that's on repeat on the cable television every week. I loved Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Also.
No, I think he's really capable. Like, I have yet to have watched his directorial debut mid-90s, which came out last year.
Yeah.
But I heard it was really, really good. Like, apparently he has like a really keen eye, I guess, for direction, and I'm looking forward to whatever he can pull off.
Yeah, you look forward to actors like that do have a keen eye of directorial and direction because they also bring that to their acting. Jonah Hill was nominated for an Oscar in Moneyball. I believe.
Oh, yeah, he
Don't
was.
yell at me if that was incorrect, but he was in an Oscar award-winning film as a backup character, but he did that really well. He's known for being a bit of a chameleon as well, kind of like with Joaquin Phoenix. He does change his body type very often, and he takes his work very seriously. But he's also been in a lot of comedic roles. You have the issue of possibly having the same issue with like Dave Bautista.
Yeah, typecast.
Where you typecast him a little bit. It could go that way where he goes above and beyond. There's been actors over the years that have relished in going from comedic strictly to a lot of drama. Jim Carrey is one who did mostly comedies, and then he got into the more... Jim Carrey played the Riddler, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that to happen, but so Jim Carrey, good old Steve Carell was another one.
Yeah.
Did a lot of comedy coming up, and then he started to jump into movies like Foxcatcher, which was an Oscar-nominated film, and other films like that where he had the chops, and he started to get really into it. This year, I know this is going to sound absolutely crazy, but there is a lot of Oscar buzz right now for Adam Sandler in this movie called Uncut Gems. So actors can go from this to that.
Yeah.
But then again, there's also actors that can't make a jump. Specifically, I'm going to say Lex Luthor and Jesse Eisenberg, which is a possibility from an actor going from his typecast to another film.
Yeah.
You think... did you guys like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor in any of those Warner Brother films?
I don't think it was right for the character, but I like him playing a darker role. I'd be open to it in a different role, for sure.
I just want to say right now, I think that movie was pretty bad. So you can't really put it on him.
Yeah.
He's an excellent actor, but I like the fact that they took a swing. They didn't just say, oh, Lex Luthor, Vincent D'Onofrio, let's just do that, right? Let's take an actor that's just like every other Lex Luthor and do that. They went bold, and they missed because the writing didn't get it done, basically. I mean, he tried his best. He acted his damnedest in that film to try to get it right, but there's a reason why he's not coming back. So I think Jonah Hill can do pretty well. Are you guys excited for the new Batman at all?
I'm curious,
Right.
more than anything. Definitely curious.
Definitely curious.
I'm excited. I was still like kind of on the fence when Ben Affleck wasn't going to direct it anymore, but I totally understand. It was essentially, he wasn't in like the right place at the right time.
No, he was going through some.
He was going through some stuff. So, but I do like Matt Reeves as a director. I still have yet to have seen the final Planet of the Apes trilogy, but
That's
from what I've seen,
that's bad. That's a pro bummer. You should watch that.
They're really good.
that's what I've heard. I heard it's
Just-
like
it's
really
on my
good.
shelf.
Is it?
Take it on the way. You got a Blu-ray player? Watch it on the way out.
I do on my other one, but
Take it and I'll watch it.
I'm looking forward to like even like when like back when like Robert Pattinson was getting cast, that like really like intrigued me and everything. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I do believe that Matt Reeves is a top-notch director. And I loved the entire trilogy. I think the Planet of the Apes trilogy, this new trilogy, was one of the best. Just absolutely one of the best trilogies in the last decade, if not more. It was really well made. I could go one way or another on the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was one of my favorite movies of the last couple years.
Yeah.
And then War came out a couple years ago, War of the Planet of the Apes, which, to be completely honest, Andy Serkis should have been nominated for an Oscar in that movie for an actor. That's how far the CGI has come. He's done mostly you got to put a lot of weight on Andy Serkis for how those movies showed up. But Matt Reeves also was there hand in hand with him with the CGI itself, being able to direct all the actors. Did you guys see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
So yeah, you see all these actors in these monkeys roles, and he crafted a story so well that by the end of this whole franchise, you could care less about these damn humans. And that's all from characters that could not speak. They could not do anything except for act and be directed. So you got to take that into consideration when he jumps into a film like The Batman, which is such a franchise of there's action and stuff, but Batman himself isn't a superhero like Iron Man, or isn't like that. He's at his core kind of a vigilante detective, and it in this film, I think they're going off of this film is specifically not going to be part of the DCEU or whatever the heck they call it. It's going to be its own thing, because they're starting to realize that they aren't Marvel. They can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
They can't hemorrhage money, basically, I want to say. So the films that have succeeded, let's just look at those in the last 5 years. Aquaman, I mean, give or take, a big old Bing Bang movie, action film, lots of CGI, but it was an origin story that could not care less about the rest of the world. Shazam, I hear it's one of the best movies in like superhero movies in a very, very long time. Really light. In the world of DCU, I just don't understand why people work on their cars so late. I'm sorry, guys, on the radio. I'm not sure he's working on his car. He's banging his head against the wall. I just don't know. Anyway, but Shazam was very much didn't care about the universe. Wonder Woman was in its own world, and they're starting to seed on that. And then this year, the Joker comes out, and it wins the Best Picture at the Venice Festival this year. And they rolled it out for the award season basically like this. And they basically said, hey, guess what? This isn't your normal superhero movie. We're going this direction.
Yeah.
And it feels like, although it's not exactly going to, I believe... who directed Joker? I forget.
Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips. I believe Todd Phillips did
Hangover series.
He did, yeah. So it's kind of cool to see him doing this thing. So basically, he did say that it's not connected whatsoever to the Batman. So it is not. We'll see if they retcon that and decide everything went really well down the line. But it's going to be a whole individualistic story, which I think Matt Reeves is excellent for. Do you guys like Batman?
Of course, I love
You guys
Batman.
seen a lot of the older movies?
Some of them.
What's your favorite Riddler?
Favorite Riddler? Well, see, that's where you got me. I haven't gone that far back. I grew up with like the one with Schwarzenegger in it, which was terrible. And a few of those other ones of that era, and Dark Knight trilogy, and that's about it. I mean, like, so I'm not as well versed on the lore and like all the Batman stuff, but
I get it.
I get to catch on.
I get it. Chelsea, do you have a favorite Riddler?
My favorite Riddler is probably the one from the Batman animated series from the 1990s.
Nice.
Just because how the writing was so good on that show, and I honestly think it still holds up to this day.
A lot of people are specifically getting the DC streaming just for the animated series.
That's what I'm thinking. It's still like really, really good. I love Batman. I guess you can say because when I was growing up, like reading comics and the movies, I was kind of like reading them like back to back. In terms of, I guess, movies, still my favorite Batman is like Michael Keaton. And then I guess like when it comes to comics, probably one of my favorite issues is Mike Mignola's Gotham by Gaslight. He's the guy that created Hellboy. So that's like a really good story arc, and like the Riddlers and that, and Batman and everything. So
I've been hearing a lot of news. I forget the storyline for Batman. It might be the Long Night. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, it's a really good one.
They're talking about possibly the Long Night. Can you tell us about the Long Night storyline at all?
God, how do I describe it? It's been a while since I've read it. I'm suddenly blanking, but I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. So they're thinking that might be involved in this Batman movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a little bit more of a serious Batman than a Jim Carrey Riddler. But I love Jim Carrey as the Riddler. It's big stupid fun. He's great. But then again, like kind of Phil, I'm not the biggest of Batman fans. I love Batman. I think he's real cool. I think the Marvel Batman's better than Batman, so
we talking about Moon Knight?
I think we're talking about Moon Knight.
Oh my God.
That'll be coming out somewhere down the line. Is it a TV show or a movie?
It's a TV show.
TV show on the Disney streaming service.
See what they do with that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
He's very violent. I don't know how they're going to pull that one off.
I don't know. Batman pulled it off a couple times. Maybe they'll try to... maybe Blade will be violent. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they go R with Blade, and maybe if they go R with Moon Knight, we'll see if Blade can get some traction on there. Also, they announced last night that Jeffrey Wright may be cast as the Commissioner Gordon.
Really?
Anybody in for that?
I am.
Sure.
Yeah, do you know who Jeffrey Wright is?
No.
No. Not a guy. What about
It was a trap.
It was a trap. I'm sorry. You're a Batman guy. Or a Star Wars guy. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm really in for Jeffrey Wright. I think he's really good. He's that actor in every movie he's in. Jeffrey Wright is in. I have to look at his filmography to find something he's in for you, but he's always a guy in a movie that you recognize but don't know. Basically, he's really, really popular in Westworld, which is a show that's out right now. And yeah, he's great. He brings a lot to the role of gravitas. Really,
Yeah.
He always plays like the wise man. He's in the Goldfinch right now.
Oh, is he?
People think he's the only redeemable part of Goldfinch.
What about Roger Deakins as the DP? Is that
They don't know he's on the they don't know he's on the property. It's the problem.
only we know?
Exactly. I don't think he's on. He's like he should be number one on the poster.
Roger Deakins.
Roger Deakins.
Jeffrey
did this
Wright.
movie. Jeffrey Wright was also here. Very good. I think he can make a good Commissioner Gordon as well. So I'm excited for that. Anyway, so it looks like we're going to wrap up today's show. Thank you guys for both coming on today. Chelsea, where can people find you if they're looking at one?
They can find me at my main source is Instagram at LilChels25, LilChels 25. And I also have a Coffee account where I'm trying to take commissions for artwork, and that is oshaluna.com, and that's OCELUNA at coffee.com.
Awesome. For the people that don't know what coffee.com is, it's not spelled like coffee, is it?
It's a KO-IF, I believe.
Weird stuff.
I know, it's
just
coffee.
to help people get there. It's not spelled coffee like the drink people drink a lot.
Yeah.
Phil, it doesn't seem like you have much of a presence online, but thanks for coming on. Do you have anything to promote? Anything going on?
Not now. If you'd have asked me a few months from now, maybe. But
Maybe.
not at the moment.
What do you got going on in a couple months? The surprise.
I'm just working on some music.
Nice,
Yeah.
awesome, dude. We'll keep you on. We'll keep you in the mind, and we'll get you in. You could follow me at my Twitter, Barno_922, and you could follow us on the Maybe It's a Network Twitter account as well, which is our network here. Maybe it's a network. Maybe it's a network. Network spelled NETWRK because Twitter is lame and can't give me the longer one for some reason. Thanks again for tuning in. Check us out. We are going to have a review of It Chapter 2 on Wednesday, and we will see you then. See you next time.